Welcome back to a very, very special edition of the ABR Access podcast. It is Thursday morning. It is 5:30 a.m. and I'm joined in the studio bright and early by Mr. Will O'Malley. How you going, mate?
Oh, mate, I'm not too bad. Yeah, got me going here early. We had to get up nice and early to get our special guest on. He's in a different time zone, and it's pretty courageous of me, actually. You know, I had to drive all the way down here in the igloo that is your house.
No, it's
got some sort of tooth problem. I think, you know, when we go back to the season awards, most courageous, I've got that wrapped up right now.
So you're overcoming some adversity to be here, Will, so I do really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But as you did say, we did have a special guest organised for the first time on ABR Access. And as you mentioned and hinted at, it was someone in a different time zone. And I very crudely teased it on Instagram, and I've had a few people somehow manage to work out who it might have been. But we were lucky enough to be joined by Mr. Kyle Chalmers, fresh off of Glasgow, his success over there, 3 gold medals, and a fantastic chat with him that we'll have kind of in between our review of last week's results and our preview of this weekend's runners. So sit tight. As we say, kind of through our chat with him, really grateful to get him on. Obviously someone who's very, very busy, and it's like peak time for him at the moment, like with competing and fresh off of Glasgow. Outstanding chat with him, and we hope everyone kind of enjoys that. And we hope to get a bit more continued dialogue with Kyle down the track, so we can hopefully get him on again, do some videos with him out at Anguston, that kind of thing, so people get an opportunity to kind of have a chat to them or a chat to Kyle or send some questions in next time we have a chat to him. But yeah, fantastic chat with him. As we always do, we got to go through our runners from last week. Yep. Really exciting as well this week is we've got Behemoth Stakes Day at Morphettville, as well as our season launch, the return of Shady Thinker, which we get to touch on. Plenty to cover. This probably might be a bit of a longer episode, just being having the chat with Kyle. Plus, plenty to go through on a race side. So to kick us off, Will, we also almost got a second guest on the episode with Kyle just before. We had Kilo, who's been very popular in the comments and stuff.
Yeah, I think he was coming in to have dinner because, or even breakfast. You got some new guests up here, some fish.
There's a new addition to the podcast studio this week. We've got 6 fish joining us today. We almost had 4 because 2 of them on their first day of living in the podcast studio nearly flipped themselves out of the tank. So,
do they have names?
Yep.
They are?
Yeah, so it's lolly themed. So the 2 orange ones are peaches and cream. And then the 4 Allens are the Allen's lollies, the little tiny ones that live in there. So that's the names.
Oh.
Is that all right?
Well, you could have named them after the horses. Or
maybe I should have. But anyway, that's something we can work on that. If anyone has any suggestions of more fish I can throw in there, please let me know.
Yeah.
So this week we'll go through our runners from last week. Took the 4 to Morphettville. A couple of my favourites, as we touched on, didn't quite get a winner, but some really positive runs from those horses with the likes of Oh Love You Know, Mrs. Pennycracker, Indian Jewel, and Everything Counts. We might run through them each and then kind of get through any trials and jump outs or track work that we've had, and then chat to Kyle, and then we'll do our runners preview.
Yes.
So we'll kick it off with Oh Love You Know, who started the day at Morphettville last week. She ran really well, I thought.
Yeah, 100%. It was a fast run race. It went really quick early. I think 10 lengths fast and class standard to the 800 metres. So she was a long way off from the wide draw, which we knew she was going to be. We kind of knew that she was going to be looking for further. She rounded off the race quite well. I think she came home maybe 3rd fastest last 200 of the race. So looking for further was clearly evident with that. But yeah, look, she's just in a tricky rating spot at the moment, whereas like the next available race in town over 2,400 metres is a 78. That was a 64 on the weekend. So there isn't actually a 56 at Balaclava the 19th of August, and she can go there, hopefully just rail up there and stick to the monorail, get the job done, and then she can go back into town and run over 2,500 metres.
Yeah. Really happy with Lovey on Saturday. Then we went to a race where we had 2 representatives in the same race. Another one of my favourites, Mrs. Pennycracker, was first up, and Indian Jewel first up off of Victorian stable, Victorian preparation. Look, a really bunched finish, lots of luckless runners in the race, but I thought our 2 really acquitted themselves well. For 2 horses that were first up, got back on the Parks track. Maybe start with Penny, because I thought she was actually outstanding first up.
Yeah, she kind of surprised us a bit, probably. Like, well, obviously we spoke about her dad last week, and we thought she was ready to go to the races, but did think she was going to need the run, and maybe the 1250 was too short. But I guess if she got clear air, she would have gone very close. I'm not 100% sure she would have won it. Like, they were racing very tight, so there was a lot of luckless runs, and That's what happens when they don't go that quick up front. But yeah, she was bolting. Taylor never really got a crack at him. She was really happy with the run and said even like she wasn't that good at, like she wasn't travelling as well on the ground as she usually does. So she says there's a lot of improvement in her, and there's a couple of suitable options at 14 and 15.50 on the parks on the 22nd of August. She'll go there, but yeah, couldn't be happy with how she returned. And Indian Jewel, again, similar story, just got back, wide draw, slowly run, well, not a fast run race, absolutely bolting on the corner, and then it kind of, just didn't eventuate. She kind of got chopped out by Mrs. Pennycracker in the end, and then Ashwin was very kind to her late, but like we thought she was like a pass mark, and then going out to 1400 or 1550 in the next couple of weeks, she'll be much improved and run well.
As we talk about on this show, we talk about having the hunger, and Mrs. Pennycracker might be nearly the epitome of it. Gee, she has a crack. I'm sure the replay will be flashed up, but throughout the race, as she kind of leveled up in the straight, she continued to attack the line. The gaps were half appearing, and she was looking to take them. But yeah, I was really, really wrapped with her, how she ran on Saturday. Finally, Everything Counts. He went around as well. He was okay. Ashvin riding as well. Just noting that he might be better over further. But what did you make of his run?
Yeah, just okay. Like, it didn't work out for him well. They didn't go fast as we thought they would. So which meant he was kind of caught 3 wide, and then 3 wide on the park, slow speed. He's never going to run past that many of them. Look, I think OTI have decided they're going to put him online this week, so that'll be his last run for us, which is it is what it is.
Yeah, so. He's been a bit of a frustrating horse because he does show glimpses of good ability. It's just trying to get him in the right races with his rating, and getting a bit of consistency on the board with him has been challenging. But
yeah, look, it is a shame. Like, he does show us a bit at home, but then just gets very keen in his races, and you just, once you get to race day, if you get that keen and you overdo it, you have to be a lot better than them if you're going to still do that and then do things wrong and still win races.
Yeah, for sure. So we might not see him again.
I don't think we will, no.
So that wraps up our runners from last Saturday. As we said, no winners, but some really positive results. We didn't have any midweek runners last week, or it would have been yesterday. There was racing at Murray Bridge. And we did touch on Ashvin, wishing him all the very best, because I think he had a bit of a nasty incident yesterday. So I can't imagine we'll be seeing him at the jump outs this morning. On that, we do have jump outs this morning. We're going to go from the podcast studio. As we said, it's 5:30 a.m. We're going to be heading up to Murray Bridge. I think jump outs start there at 7:30. Do you want to run us through who's going around there?
Yes. So a lot of these, they're just club jump outs as well. So probably just key to note, this is basically just having a gallop on the grass there at Murray Bridge. So we have Officiate will be going around, Tano Rocket. We've got Microphone, Go Charlie Go. We've got Leading Ride. We also have
Winning All
Round. And we have Larg's Legacy as well. And there might be one more.
Blackjack. Jeez, we've done right. If we've nailed that, we've done quite well.
I think it might be Blackjack. Anyway, so yeah, they're basically just gallops. But what it does, because you can either gallop on the fibre, or you can, with the jump outs, you get access to the grass. Obviously, the grass is, you'd rather be on the grass more than the fibre. The fibre does certainly serve a purpose, and it's very good to gallop on, but you want to change it up a bit. So that's why they're having the jump outs. They won't be there to do too much, most of them, given they're like just ticking over between runs. They'll just be jogging on out the back and just having a nice piece of work with fitness builder, maintenance gallop towards next week's races.
I can still find a little bit of excitement in that. I am pretty keen to see what Microphone Go Charlie Go can produce for kind of first time at the jump outs this time. And also Larg's Legacy for a terrific group of owners out at Port Districts. Keen to see what she can do this preparation. She certainly didn't look far away from knocking off a maiden last time. So look, if we're trying to find little things to look forward to, I think those two would be something that are worth keeping an eye on from this morning. On that note, before we get into our preview of this weekend's runners, as we touched on off the top, we did get Kyle Chalmers on for a chat just before we recorded this. Obviously, we were a bit pressed for time with his schedule, hence the early morning for us. But hopefully everyone enjoys the chat with Kyle. We'll throw to that now, and we'll do our preview post that.
Yep.
Willow, a very big moment for the ABR Access podcast this morning.
Massive.
We are joined by our very first guest on the show, and we haven't mucked around. We've got one of the big dogs in. We've got Mr. Kyle Chalmers live from Leipzig in Germany. Welcome, Kyle.
Thanks for having me, guys. I didn't realise this was actually the first one, but I guess it's only up from here in terms of guests you're going to get on the show. So good on you for starting at the bottom.
No, we are very grateful, mate, because I think it's quite late at night and you've just got off a live cross with Sunrise to join us. So obviously you start with the small fish and then you jump into the deep end with us. But we are very grateful because we know you've been flat out, obviously, Comm Games. And over in Europe, I think you got European Championships coming up. So, we are very grateful for your time, mate.
No worries. Thanks for having me on. But yeah, it's always challenging when you're in Europe. You've got to adapt to the time zone to be able to train and race, but everything else happens back in Australia. So you're kind of almost on the clock 24/7 when you're in Europe. So making it work just.
But you're lucky you've got your family over there at the moment. Are they over in Germany with you currently?
No, they're actually. So my wife is racing at the European Championships in Paris next week. So they are currently in Oslo in Norway on a Norwegian training camp before the competition starts off. So Ingi's with her teammates, and Astrid's with Ingi and Ingi's family for support. And I'm out in the trenches on a training camp, trying to get fit so I can redeem myself in 4 years' time at the 2030 Commonwealth Games.
Well, fresh off the Commonwealth Games, mate, how was the lead up and the excitement heading into the Glasgow competition? How did you feel you prepared kind of this time heading in compared to other major competitions, Olympics, Comm Games in the past?
Well, I mean, as every parent out there would know, it's pretty challenging. I think the first 12 months of becoming a parent for the first time and kind of navigating that. But then when you throw in that not only me, but also my wife are athletes as well, and we're trying to train and recover. And as you guys know, with horse racing, it's very similar being a human athlete. Like, it's a lot that goes into it. So having a baby keeping you up at night maybe isn't the most ideal preparation to be at your absolute best, but to be able to have my wife and daughter in the grandstand with me in Glasgow, sharing my special moments with me, was probably my most proudest moments or cherished moments throughout my swimming career. Being able to embrace my wife and hug and celebrate with my daughter and her hold my medals. I think it was just a celebration of the last 12 months to get to that point. So I kind of like the Commonwealth Games is a big competition, but in the big scheme of things, our biggest competition is the Olympics and the World Championships. So it's kind of a stepping stone towards LA in 2028. So yeah, I mean, I'm super proud. I couldn't have done anything better. I couldn't have asked for much more in terms of results, and pretty stoked with how everything went.
Yeah, well, firstly, Kyle, congratulations, mate. Obviously, understanding myself as a father, it is very difficult to perform on the world stage with your first child in tow for the first 12 months. It's an amazing effort. I wanted to touch base on how you handle expectation, because obviously, one of the best to ever do it in the 100 sprint, and you're now, a bit of a veteran in the sport. Do you still get nervous going into a comp like that, or does now having a little one give you a bit more perspective and you kind of separate the two and you go in and handle your own expectations, but also then you've got the whole of Australia supporting you as well? How do you deal with that? Because I guess in our side of things, we're always dealing with our own expectations in terms of horse racing, but also the owner's expectations, which is it's another thing to deal with.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty tough. You're dealing with the internal expectations as well as the external ones that you can't really control. But for me, I think it's funny, like a lot of the coaches and even some of the athletes, but mainly the coaches asked me that a few times, like, oh, do you still get nervous for this, or do you kind of really care what's going on? But I think for me, I've been like I've had success at the Commonwealth Games in the past, and I've been able to win all the races I've ever entered in there. So the pressure and expectation was kind of off of me this time around. Like I've been there, done it before, and it was honestly about enjoying the experience. Like I think, the last time I was at Commonwealth Games, I was 24 years old. So there was still the pressure and expectation. I hadn't won a Commonwealth Games gold medal, so it was like, go to the games, find out where my bedroom is, find out where I get my food from, find out where the bus gets me to the pool, and I didn't probably enjoy the experience as much as maybe what I did this time around, where it was like I actually really enjoyed getting presented my Australian uniform and trying everything on and being a part of the Australian swimming team, because you start to realise that doesn't last forever, so you want to kind of enjoy it while you can. So I didn't feel that the pressure and expectation was on me nearly as much as it has been in the past, so I was able to kind of fly under the radar a bit more this time and just enjoy that moment because you work so hard for it. Like, I think everyone kind of gets caught up in trying to win medals and have success, but being able to, actually enjoy the moment you work so hard for is a lot easier said than done. Like, I guess it's the same as you guys. Like, you want to be able to enjoy the race and see how the horse actually goes rather than kind of thinking about, all the owners and stuff going on in the background, all that background noise that you can't control. So, like I said, very much easier said than done. But this time around, I truly did enjoy it. And on nerves, like, yes, I still get nervous, but I actually force myself to get nervous because it doesn't come as naturally to me as it once did. So I know that I get I swim my best, and I have my best races when I am a little bit nervous. So I'll try to force that out of me a little bit and put a bit of pressure and expectation onto myself to get nervous, and then hope that carries on into the race, because it just takes me out. And that first 25 meters of my 100 freestyle is just that full nervous energy, which is nice.
Yeah, you've clearly done this before, man. That was an outstanding answer. Just on your preparation, talk us through, firstly, your results over in Glasgow. You were quick to remind me you did get 3 golds over there and did become the most successful male swimmer over in Comm Games history. Talk us through a day in the life, maybe like the lead up, any superstitions, routines you might have, dinner the night before, that kind of thing. Talk us through a day, like a comp day.
Yeah, I had to correct you on that one. I thought you might have checked out after day 2, but it was a 6-day meet, so managed to get a third one under the belt. But I mean, for me, race day honestly changes every time, because my sport involves me traveling to the other side of the world, and I've raced in 40 different countries now, or every state of Australia, and everything always looks different in terms of the food you can eat and have access to, the hotel or room situation. Like, you might have a roommate that's swimming different events to you, so they're up earlier and trying to nap at different times. So as I've got older, I've really tried to eliminate the pre-race superstitions, because it's just not possible to have the exact perfect preparation every time. And then I think if you miss something, like for me, I always love to have a banana before I race. Like, once I've done my warm up before I go into the marshalling room 20 minutes before I race, I love to have a banana, but some countries you just don't have access to them. So if you get to that point, you don't have access to a banana, I think it causes more stress than what it's actually worth. So I've tried to eliminate them. Most countries, yes, you have access to things like that, but you might race in, I don't know, Russia or somewhere a bit more foreign that maybe fresh fruit isn't as readily available. So I guess for me, a race day, like, I'm going to swim a heat and then a semi-final that night. I'll try and get up probably 3 hours before I race. So if I'm racing at 9:30, I'm up by 6:30, have a big breakfast, and then I try to get to the pool roughly 2 hours before I race. Do my dry land exercises. So I try to think about warming every part of my body up. So obviously the core and lower back's a really important one for me, my shoulders, do some active mobility stuff. And then I'm in the pool about an hour before I race, and I'll swim about 1,500 meters as a warm up. And then wearing I put my racing suit on. I'm in the marshalling room 20 minutes before I race. So bit of protein post race, like a protein shake or chocolate milk's always a treat, and then head home, have some lunch, try and have a nap, and then do it all again at night for the semi-final. So swimming's pretty relentless like that, especially on a 6-day program, and we get drug tested all the time as well. So the first couple nights for me at the Commonwealth Games, I was getting home at midnight after I'd done my drug test and got back to the hotel. So you never really know what's going to get thrown your way. You just kind of have to roll with the punches and hope for the best, really.
Really good.
Yeah, so talk us through the Australian sport in Glasgow. Obviously, it was supposed to be in Victoria, I think, originally, these games, and they changed it to Glasgow. How many Australians were over there? Did you have friends and family over there as well? And I guess how did you get a good reception once you got onto the to receive the gold medals?
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be in Melbourne, so it was obviously a little bit sad that it didn't go ahead in Australia, because some of my favourite memories in like competing have been representing Australia in Australia with a home crowd has been amazing. But there was a period of time where the Comm Games potentially weren't going ahead, so I was grateful Glasgow took on the responsibility of getting it done, and we got to do it. And my wife and daughter were able to be there, but I know I would have loved to have had more family and friends join, but it's just the expense of going over there. And I think it was about 500 Aussie dollars for a ticket.
Wow.
And if you add that up by 6 nights and morning swims on top of that, it's an expensive week. So, yeah, my wife and daughter this time around, no other family, but they're all supporting me at home. And yeah, I mean, there was 59 swimmers, I think, from Australia on the Commonwealth Games team. So most of them had family and friends there. And by the time we put them in the crowd, there might be a couple hundred Aussies that are up there singing the national anthem and supporting the Australian swimmers. So, yeah, definitely didn't feel alone there, that's for sure.
And you did just touch on your family, Ashton and Ingy, being over there for the first time. Did you get much of a chance to kind of leave that competitive bubble where you get to go out for dinner, or you get to take them out for lunch, you get to go and kind of experience a little bit of Glasgow outside of the swimming centre?
No, mate. I've all I ever see is hotels, swimming pools, and airports. Like, I seriously, I hadn't left. Well, I'd left my hotel obviously to go to the swimming pool, but I had one final day in Glasgow after the competition had finished before I left for Spain that I got to walk to the train station, which was down the road. But otherwise, I seriously saw nothing of Glasgow, and you're pretty locked in, obviously. Trying to perform to the best of your ability, so you're kind of resting and sleeping in between races. And I got to see Astrid and Ingy a little bit, but again, it's challenging when you've got 4 or 5 hours in between races and you're kind of trying to refuel, recover, rehydrate all the R's to get ready to go again. And I'm a little bit older now as well, so I don't bounce back as quickly as I did maybe 10 years ago. So I've got to make sure I really take advantage of that downtime. So yeah, I mean, ideally, I'd love to spend as much time with Astrid as I possibly can, but that week of competing, you have to, I don't want to sound rude, but like, you almost have to be a selfish athlete and put the racing first, because it is only 1 week of the year, and the other 51 weeks of the year I get to be dad first.
Beautiful.
Very good, mate. I guess one other question. Do you get to have a little blowout after you winning 3 gold medals, do you celebrate the victories, or is it just recovery and, back into the hotel room, or do you let the hair down a bit sometimes?
I don't know if you've seen any of the news this week, Willow, but I think some
love
people have enjoyed
it. yeah. I'd love to, but for me, I raced on the last night, so night number 6, we had a team meeting straight away. I got drug tested, so I was there pissing in a cup in front of a bloke that decided to watch my urine leave my body. And then,
beautiful.
And then I did a bit of media, and then I wasn't back in the hotel room until about 1 a.m. by then. So most of my teammates had already wrapped things up, probably as lightweights, as swimmers. We probably only last 1 or 2 beers, and then are pretty ready for bed. So no celebrations just yet. I think I'll hold off until I get to come back to Adelaide and celebrate with my friends and family. And I've still got a job to do at the moment, so still kind of locked in. But I'm looking forward to catching up with a few mates when I get back.
Just on that, to wrap things up, what is something that you're most looking forward to when you do get home? Obviously, time with family and friends and a bit of downtime. But what are some of the things that you miss about Adelaide and Australia? I know you got your farm with your animals on board, and I'm sure there's other things that there are that you're missing. What is it you're most looking forward to when you get back?
I think me is like home cooked meal is like number one. Like, it sounds great having buffet food every day, but that just gets so repetitive after a while. And just having a home cooked meal is, I think, nothing better when you've been away. I've been away now for 4 weeks and I've got another 7 ahead of me. So by the time I get home, I'll be desperate for that. I think you start to crave your own bed. And then, to be honest, just being in my place away from everyone for a little while as well, and just being able to decompress. Like you said, I've got a little hobby farm, so just being able to be off my phone, off the grid, off technology for a little bit, and go feed the cows and just enjoy how good Australia truly is. Because I think when you come over here, you realise how lucky we really do have it in Australia. So I am keen to get home, but I don't want to start thinking about it just yet, because I've still got 7 weeks ahead of me. I'm not even a third of the way through my trip, so I can't be getting too not homesick, but eager to get home just yet.
No, really good, mate. That is awesome. We won't keep you up any longer. I think, what time is it over there at the moment?
or 9:50, but I'll be up for a little bit longer because Arsenal are playing at the moment,
Oh, there you go.
you don't get to watch them live all that often,
Yeah,
being in
very
Australia,
good.
because it's like 1 or 2 a.m. So I'll capitalise on that and watch the second half of the Arsenal game before I go to bed, I reckon.
Nah, perfect, mate. We really appreciate, as we said off the top, your time. As you just outlined, you're absolutely flat chat at the moment. So to make a little bit of time on a Wednesday evening is really, really great, mate. So we look forward to catching up when you get back. Obviously,
Yes.
good luck for the rest of your comps. Hopefully, you can bring a few medals back to Anguston, and we're happy to stay in touch and wish you all the best. And pass on a hello to Astrid and Ingy when you catch up with them next.
Perfect. Appreciate you guys obviously have worked around my schedule and got up really early to have me on as your first guest. So appreciate you guys having me on and look forward to catching up when I get home very soon.
Legend, mate. All the
Thank
best.
you, mate.
Stay safe.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Outstanding chat, by the way, Willow.
Yeah, he's a sharp individual. He does it well. He's what a legend. He's obviously had a really good Comm Games. One of Australia's greatest ever athletes, and he's still going. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Group 1 human, Group 1 athlete. Really, really stoked to have him on. Incredibly grateful to have our first guest being Kyle Chalmers. We thought we might have to stoop as low as having Aaron or Ned on as our first guest. But
I'm glad we missed that.
Yeah, we've done quite well, I think. Pat on the back for ourselves. So hopefully everyone enjoyed that chat. Some of the detail he went into was outstanding about his preparation in his routine. So, really grateful.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth noting that, as you said, a Group 1 human, he's been unbelievable to deal with.
Yeah.
So, obviously he's, one of Australia's greatest ever athletes, and very humble, and took great interest in what we're doing, and obviously has come on board in the Congo Colt. So, if you do want to race with Kyle, I think it's a pretty good opportunity. He's a great man. He'll be around the place a lot when the horse is racing. So please get involved.
It's funny, literally, we text quite often while he's been over there. He makes time, and you look at the time zone, and I'm like, what is he doing awake? But he has a crazy schedule. Just then when we got off the phone, I texted him and I said, thanks again, mate. He said, how is the horse going? That was the first thing he said. So he does have a keen interest in the racing side. And even just before we started recording, the first stuff we were talking about was some of our horses and how they're going. And we love his interest in it. We look ahead now to the weekend preview, Morphettville this weekend. Behemoth Stakes. Really exciting weekend for the stable on a couple of different fronts. Firstly, we have our season launch, which is fully kind of sold out. So really looking forward to seeing everyone there at the Terrace Bar. We'll be able to document some of that on the socials, but really looking forward to that as a whole. Should be a good day. I think there might be a food and drinks package involved as well, Willow.
It'll be good. I've looking at the races though, races 7 and 8. So you're gonna have to really pull myself back, not go too hard, and then maybe when we get a few winners, we can launch after that.
Yeah, it is a tricky schedule. I noticed we're on the back-to-back, so we'll need to head down for the mounting yard for both races, which leaves a few of the people up in the Terrace Bar quite vulnerable to the bar tab. I feel like unsupervised
individuals up there. Yeah,
I think that could maybe go astray. But really exciting, as I said, to have the two runners in races 7 and 8. You've got Shady Thinker and Metrical going around for some terrific connections. Obviously, Shady and Metrical have been horses that we've had a lot of success with over the last couple of years, and excited to get them both back to the races on a big day for us. We might kick it off with Shady. First up, Behemoth Stakes. Had the trial at Mindery Hallerton. Competitive field. Looks an open market. Maybe before we preview the race itself, we might want to preview the track and its conditions heading into Saturday, as I'm seeing some mixed reports about the weather. Maybe it's my wishful thinking for him, but there could be plenty of rain on the cards, and I'm not sure how it bodes for both these horses. Talk us through how you're preparing for the weather this Saturday.
Yeah, so look, obviously, I think definitely Sunday there's about 30 mils. Saturday it says at least up to 10 mils, maybe more. You're kind of in the lap of the gods. Obviously, with both horses, Shady's never seen a heavy track, so we don't know. The other thing in the back of our mind is till 2 weeks ago when Zoo Win and Fish Out ran on the main track, it was a soft 7, but they ran heavy track times. So I'd say it's more than likely going to be a heavy track. And obviously Shady hasn't seen that heavy track. He worked very well on it. Recently he trialled at Mindery, and they said that was basically a heavy 10. So don't have too many concerns, especially with his action, and he's got a very quick turnover. His stride frequency is very quick. Those kind of horses usually seem to get through it quite well. It's more the horses that have a big long stride. If obviously you got shifty, choppy ground, if you've got that big long like economical stride, it makes it a bit trickier sometimes to get through the ground that isn't as, I guess, even. Metrical obviously loves it, so no concerns there. So, yeah, we go into it. We can't control the weather, control what we can control, and I guess speaking to Kyle, he's kind of spoke about that a bit as well, and we couldn't be happy with both horses. So that's all we can do.
As you said, controlling what we can. Shady Thinker first up off that positive trial at Minderee. I think we couldn't really have him any better heading into the race. How does he shape up this Saturday?
Yeah, so I know Aaron and Ned think it's the best we've had him, so that's a real positive. We watched him gallop on Tuesday at Balaclava, worked together with Metrical, fantastic gallop, probably recovered as well as he ever has, because he can. As you know, he's a bit of a handful.
He's a quirky customer, Shady Thinker. If you ever,
he's crazy. Actually.
If you ever, no, I don't know if I'd say that. If you ever have the pleasure of meeting him, race day trials, even just at home at Angaston, he has got a lot of quirks. He's one of the nicest horses we have in terms of he loves people and he's kind, but he also has a different gear, which I think also makes him quite a talented racehorse because you actually never know what he might dish up.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, he's a competitor. Here he is. Kilo.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, another quirky customer, this one. But no, he's got something different going upstairs.
100%, 100%.
And that means that probably is a reason why he's such a good horse. But he's certainly in a great spot, and because he's so quirky, sometimes he can really overdo it in his work, and his recovery is quite high. But he recovered really well on Tuesday, so he's in a great spot, and we're very happy with him. I think we'll talk about it a bit more in the data segment about why we went this way, but we think he's going to be competitive in this race. I know for some it may seem a bit of a stretch, but we're confident he's going to be around the mark.
Well, he's reflected in the market. He kind of opened just double figures, so $10, $12. He's first up and does have unexposed form on a heavy track, but I think he is really well placed in this kind of race. Mm-hmm. And as we said off the top, don't think he could be going in any better off of his work. And the horse is particularly well, as you said, with his quirks, he's certainly full of himself. He reminds me a little bit of your good self, Will, coming off the footy field after his work, knowing that you've got a footy function on that night and you're just chomping at the bit.
Yeah,
He'll come off the track
after a win,
full of beans. The horse is really, really well, really happy with him. And if he could, deliver a result in a Group 3 first up, it would be awesome for our stable, our connections who have been really patient through, as we've touched on, what's been a tricky period for us. So that would just be, really, really sweet to get a bit of success on Saturday with him. So, I give him a really good chance to run a massive race first up. Not expecting him to go there and win and blow them away. There's some competitive horses, I think, the likes of Linkani. There's a few visitors from interstate that have come over that'll be competitive, but it would not knock me over to see him run a really big race.
Oh, I think he can win the race. Yeah, there's no doubt. We wouldn't be running if we didn't think he could win. Things have to go right, given the weather and the wet track. He has to handle that, but he's certainly talented enough.
He's cherry ripe. And Metrical, a horse that hasn't knocked over a win this preparation, but geez, he's been consistent. There's good form around him. The likes of Lingani, who he arguably should have beaten a couple of starts ago, is favourite for the Behemoth. He lines up in the race following Shady Thinker, so hopefully we can watch that from the winner's bar. But how does he kind of prepare? You said that they galloped together during the week. How does he prepare ahead of Saturday?
Yeah, really well, really well. He galloped on Saturday and Tuesday. Both lovely pieces of work. He's probably in a really good spot. 3 weeks between runs now. Originally, we were kind of looking at the race next week in the parks, but given the rain was coming, we kind of thought we'll chuck in a nom and see how he goes in terms of his gallop on Tuesday. Look, he's matched motors with Shady, so that's pretty good going. And look, he's probably the weakest race he's seen for a long time. So it's a 66. He hasn't seen this kind of grade for a long time. He has to carry 60 kilos with Matt's claim, but Matt's ridden him on a couple of occasions really well. So quite confident that, if he gets the right run in the race, the heavens open and it's a bottomless track, he's going to be the one to beat.
Yeah, I give him a massive chance on Saturday. He's another one that just seems to be in such a good spot. His gallops recently have been outstanding. He horses really well. And he does get conditions, other than the big weight, he does get conditions to suit. Both of them, we were quite lucky with the barriers on Saturday, both drawing 5, which is good. They got a few options from those gates. So, also, I didn't touch on this earlier, but Jackson Murphy getting an opportunity on Shady Thinker for the first time in the Behemoth. Yeah,
look, Jacko's doing a lot of work for us. Really impressed with him. He's a good young kid. He wants to learn. He takes on feedback. He also does his own homework, which I really like. I find I really get impressed when they know they've watched replays, they understand what the horse needs and what it wants, and he's probably his harshest critic. He's always like wanting feedback, but he's also saying, look, I could have done better here. I could have done this, and I love seeing that. So look, very impressed with him. I'm glad to give him a shot like this in a race like the Behemoth. I think he deserves it. And I'm certain, like moving forward, he's going to do a really good job for us.
Yeah, he's delivered on a few occasions for us. It's just the way that he listens and puts his head down and does all the work. Like, without him over this last couple of weeks, we're so grateful for his work behind the scenes. So looking ahead to Saturday, Willow, outside of that, just hoping for good runs from the two of them. If you were to kind of try and split one of them, this is a tricky one. Who do you think is the better winning chance out of the two? This is really tough.
Oh, I always pick the most talented horse, and that would be Shady. So, again, as I said, Shady is very capable of winning the race. Is he going to love a heavy 10 first up at 1,200 metres at weight for age? Not sure. Like, that's a big question mark. But, if this was a dry track, I'd be very confident.
Very good.
Yeah.
That wraps up our weekend preview. A couple other things to get through before we wrap things up. We've got our track work whispers. So a horse that has been galloping or behind the scenes that we think might be prepping up well. And I've got a note here, and I've actually got a link here to the gallop itself. So hopefully that is flashing up on the screen and the editing department has a go there. But a horse that we haven't really seen a whole lot of is a Savabeel Happily Colt that we bought at the Ready to Runs. He is named the Pagan Wizard. His gallop from Saturday, Willow, talk us through.
Yeah, he galloped in company with Blackjack. So Blackjack obviously just won its maiden, but obviously quite experienced horse now, and a very professional horse. Pagan Wizard was his first gallop on the flat this prep. He just turned 3 that day, I believe.
Yep.
And it was a bloody heavy 55 at Agor there, which was good. Hadn't rained much either, but anyway, that's fine. Anyway, he handled it really well. He did a great job. What's so funny, mate?
Nothing.
No, it's good stuff. But yeah, he galloped super. So, like, he's got a lot of ability. He's obviously, what is he, a full brother to Amarati?
Amarati.
Yeah, Amarati, who famously won the race at in New Zealand, the Guineas, where the jockey fell off.
I think we could put the replay up, but I actually think it would have been removed.
Yeah.
Because the jockey's come off on the line.
That's interesting.
Of, what's the winner called? Something in Paris? But
Road to Paris.
Road to Paris wins the race, but as they're crossing the line, the jockey falls off, and Amarati's like coming at it at the line, and he's just Johnny on the spot, and he's left as the winner. He naturally would have run second, but he's now Group 3 winner. Yes. So full brother to a Group 3 winner.
Did he win another race after that? He ran another 2,000 metres. Yeah.
So obviously well related on that side, but his gallop during the on the weekend at Gawler, more so the fact that it was kind of his first flat gallop that we've had this preparation, but he hasn't had many in the past at all. It would have been his second,
so
like
total,
lacks experience but doesn't lack ability. I thought his gallop was fantastic.
No, he's an exciting horse. So whether he gets to a race this prep, I'm not sure. He'll definitely get to a jump out or a trial, I'd say, all going well, and then we can look forward to him. I think he'd be one for the autumn, getting out to a mile, probably further, that we're going to be excited about.
Yeah, cracking little horse, the little Happily Colt. Now, we'll go to a segment that we kind of kicked off a couple of weeks ago for the very first time, which is our data segment. Might be a good idea to kind of touch on either metrical and how he compares on rain-affected ground. Is that the kind of path you want to go down today?
We can do both if you want. Go be quickly. So we use, I use for Aaron and Ned, 2 programs. One's called Form King, one's called Top Rate. So they're both rating services that basically rate races. Now, these ratings, to be clear, are of that performance on the day. They don't bonus anything for bad luck or track conditions, etc. So it's what they produce in the day, and you have to go back and do the research why they ran that rating. And but it gives you a solid number. It's to put into context, a Group 1 is usually 102 or maybe 100 and above, and then it drops down from there. So like a listed race is usually 92, 93, and a Group 3 might be 96, and then you get the picture from there. Yep. So with Metrical, his 3 best ratings are in the high 90s. 90, where are they? I'll get this one next up. Yeah, so 90. I know he's 94, 96. He's on the heavy track last prep, which is big numbers. Like very good numbers. And his best good track numbers are 88, 89. So there's a fair difference there. Hence why we saw the rain on Saturday coming, and we say we got to put him in. He was still 3 weeks between runs, which we know he likes because his best runs are spaced. But you got to take advantage of the wet weather when it comes. So look, that's certainly a reason why we kind of target wet tracks with him, because he clearly handles it better than most. And even if you saw that where he came fourth, 3 starts back on the parks, he rattled home. He got into the worst part of the track there on a heavy track and still just absolutely flew late. He ran home in 33 something and change. So to do that on a heavy track, you have to handle it. But the other one was probably a bit more interesting is Shady Thinker. So he obviously had 2 options in the for the races this weekend, and certainly the ratings aren't everything, as I say. Like, they're only a number. Aaron and Ned watching and knowing the horse and seeing where he's at is the most important thing. But to give some clarity around why we picked the race, so with Form King, we get a look at all the other horses in the field, their ratings, their best ratings, and what distances their ratings are at. I guess in the past, they give you also a winning standard for the race. So a 96.3 is the, average for the last 4 or 5 years. If I go through the field, none of those horses have run that rating in their last start, apart from Maiden Call, which is a 2,000 metre race. So it's first up at 1,200. Its 1,200 metre ratings aren't near that 96. Nothing else in the field has gone near that in its past 3 starts. And so Shady Thinker's best ever rating's 91. So that's probably 2 lengths below the average winning standard. He's also never been in a race of this standard where you can actually rate higher. Because obviously the higher standard race you run in, the more opportunity you are to rate higher, because speed, quality of horse around you.
It's hard to run a 95 in a benchmark 64.
Yeah, because you basically have to have everything to run a suit, and then you have to then smash the clock to do it, to beat everything else easily. So Lingani ran a 93.5 last start, heavy track on the main track in winning. So I think, heavy track, it's going to be very hard to beat. It's got good 1,200 metre run numbers, and it's undefeated on heavy. So Shady's maybe a length off that. Do I think Shady's going as well? Well, Aaron did tell me he's going as well as ever. I agree. Can he rate higher running first up in this race? I think so. And apart from that, everything else in the race is still around that mark. So that's why we've gone for the Group 3 option over
the benchmark
benchmark 72, because we don't think it's like out of the realm of possibility that he's going to do a peak number in a field that's very even.
Yeah. So it's a winnable option for him, for a horse that's clearly going quite well, and he wouldn't need to completely blow up his rating.
He doesn't have to run a massive peak. You see horses run like five length peaks. I remember when Giga Kick won the Everest, it ran 5 length peak out of nowhere, and certainly don't think Shady's going to do that. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that he can run a 1 or 2 length peak here.
Especially when you take into consideration Shady Thinker is the most lightly raced horse in the race. He's only had the 6 starts,
exactly
something that a lot of people do forget. Obviously, we talk him up, and we do think highly of him. He actually has only had the 6 starts. He is unexposed, so he has the most scope to kind of improve and put in a bigger rating, because we think we haven't seen the bottom of him yet.
There's no doubt we haven't. And I know there's been work or studies done on it, and it does, depending on age, obviously change. But I think it's about 12 to 13 starts is when you'll see horses generally won't continue to improve their ratings. So, he's still got 6 starts to go.
We actually did get a question from an owner this week regarding how the weight for age works. So obviously the likes of Shady Thinker, just on that, we're kind of stretching this out, but it's okay because I think it's important. Shady might have a rating, I think his rating is 72, whereas something like Lingani might have a rating of, this is a Racing Australia rating now. Yeah. We're not talking about just ratings on here. So their rating, Shady Thinker being 72, carries more weight than Lingani, who is, what did you say, rating on a
97.
Explain how that works, weight for age versus a handicap.
So weight for age is the purest form of racing here in Australia. It's where the best races are, your Cox Plates, your Queen Elizabeths, your Everest. And because it's an even playing field, your weight is determined by your age and your sex. So obviously mares are given a 2 kilo allowance. 3-year-olds are given a weight allowance. So I think usually they'd be down on like about 51 kilos now at this time of year. It does change. So the first half of the year to the second half of the year, they will go up about a kilo. But that's the reason why. So the rating has nothing to do with it. It just has to do with your age and your sex.
Yeah, very good. All right. That was really good. I like that segment. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to send them through. As we said, we've got our season launch coming up this weekend, but another exciting event that we're getting closer to being able to give a little bit more information on is our golf day. We really appreciate a couple of people who have reached out looking to sponsor that. I think it's early October, mid-October.
Yeah, mid-October, yep.
If anyone else wants to get involved, let us know, because we are now at the stage where we are able to send out a bit of information. That'll all come out via emails through the database, through socials and everything. But for people who want to get in early and lock that down, more than happy to have a chat. But really excited there. I think there's going to be one of our young yearlings involved with the day as a whole, and there might be quite a good prize on the at the end of the day for the team who wins the golf day. Are we able to reveal that?
Well, I don't know.
Maybe we'll keep that under wraps.
I don't know. I haven't spoken to the boss on that. Yes, but I think we're going to explain it all on
Saturday.
Yep. Maybe we'll wait till then, just so we don't get in trouble, because we don't want to get him offside at this point.
No.
But yeah, it will be really cool. The golf day, we've got some cool ideas. But basically, we want as many people as we can. We want sponsors for the golf day. You can sponsor each hole. You can get up activations around the course. It'll be at Mount Lofty Golf Course, and they are very welcoming. They've
very accommodating.
Been great. So we can basically do whatever we want there, within reason.
Yeah, I don't know if we should say that.
And the cat could come. We could have him like a little activation for the cat.
Please.
You could come pat the cat. You get a photo with the cat. You might run that. That's a good idea, actually.
No,
yeah.
you can take the cat. But you can take the cat home.
We are looking for sponsors, and we're looking for sponsors on the podcast as well. I've had a lot of people have reached out. Like all of the 4 listeners that listen to the show have all got on board. But if you do listen, get on board.
Yeah, maybe like a fish food company might want to jump on.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Keep them going.
No, that's very good. But very exciting for the golf day. We'll get out some more information after. I think next episode will be good.
Yeah. Now we come to what's becoming probably some people's least favourite segment.
Actually, I tipped a winner though last week.
Did you?
Remember that Sassapule? I gave you 2.
Okay.
Next to Nick's did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And then Sassapule won, but it paid $1.50 in the end.
Hey, you know what? We take that because, to be honest, I don't think we've tipped a winner
Well, I tipped it at about $2, but then there was about 75 scratching. So I looked at my bet afterwards and it's like, why did I have that bet?
So how we're going to do it is, how many do you have this week? Do you have 2?
I have 1.
Okay, so we're going to do... how we're doing it, because it's going to be official and it's going to be on the screen, our best chance as a stable, we'll start there, which we've kind of covered, but we'll do it again.
Yeah.
And then a 1-unit play elsewhere. So I'm going to do 2.5 units because I've got 1 locally and I've got 1 interstate.
Okay.
So starting with ABR's best chance, and that is between now and our next episode. So do we have it, like, if we have anything running in the week leading up, so the Wednesday or the Sunday, which I don't think we do this time.
So Wednesday we'll have Tano Rocket.
Okay.
And
I'll get sucked into him for sure, but
yeah, he looks $1 million, but he always does. So don't read into that too much. We have Tano Rocket, and there's one more.
Blackjack?
Oh no, he's going next Saturday. Maybe winning all round, depending on how he goes this morning as well. So,
so our best chance as a stable across the weekend, we might keep it to Saturday.
The very fast horse, as I call him. I think, he's the best horse that we have, so he'll be. I would think he's the best chance.
Yeah, I'd love to see him win, but I do give Metrical a really good chance because he gets a lot in his favour on Saturday.
He does.
Okay, your best bet, is it at Morphettville?
It is at Morphettville.
Race number?
So it's race number 9.
The last.
Yes.
This could be absolutely massive. So I'm envisaging
yes.
Shady winning, Metrical winning,
yeah,
and your best bet winning.
Yeah.
And then we go to the...
Maybe we do a multi as well. We'll multi them all together. Astro Dean in the last. It's paying $8.50. I know Dodd, the great man, likes it as well.
Yeah.
Just having a look at that last night. His last start rating on a heavy 55 at Narracourt was massive. He's going to get into the right part of the track. I'd say be on the outside fence by this stage of the day. So I thought he could... I think he's a massive price.
I'm going to go with Morphettville. Race 6, number 7. You touched on some of the form earlier. Next Onyx running behind a grey horse of Nicky Irwin's called Real Deluxe. So I'm
Killed
making
it.
my best bet. Race 6, number 7, Vexatious Dancer. Ran a really good race.
It did, yeah.
Ran second to it first up. Connor Murtagh, good gate. And one out a little bit wider. Now, bear with me because I sent this to you, Willow, and I did not think it would be losing. Just quietly, the Lightning Stakes winner Cavalry Girl goes around as well at Caulfield on Saturday. But my best bet anywhere will be race 2, number 11, Celtics at Caulfield. Lockie Nindorf, Price Kent. Been running really good races without winning. $2.50. That is my best bet anywhere. So
Let's have a
you
quick
can go
look at
and
the worm.
head to your Betfair, lay the heck out of it, and cash your ticket because I've just put the kiss of death on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Celtics for me.
Yeah. I'll join you there. Yeah.
You like it?
Wow, I'm just looked at this rating. Wow. Yeah, that'll be winning.
Fantastic. So there's a bit of confidence and probably one you can put a line through. But yeah, that brings us to the end of what has been like a massive episode. Certainly our longest.
We've got to get to Murray Bridge, mate.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning now.
I'm ready for bed.
The sun still has not risen, but as we said throughout, we're super grateful for Kyle, his time this morning for us, and looking forward to what is going to be a massive week. So if we can get Shady and Metrical running well and the season launch.
Please, God.
Please.
Please.
Yeah, well, I think if we could just make it through the season launch safely, be respectful and be responsible, and if the jockeys can get around safely, I expect it.
Are any of your Maniac mates coming?
I'm hoping not. They think that they are, I think. But I've told them it's sold out.
I've got a couple of my Maniac mates coming, so they can join forces.
Okay, maybe we do. I think my parents are coming, though. So I think we need
so am mine, actually, yeah. They could join forces.
That would be a very interesting combination, but I look forward to it. But good luck, everyone, this weekend. Good luck to our horses, our riders, and we'll be back next week with hopefully another massive episode.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.